I never believed in instant karma until I witnessed it firsthand at Cabot last Tuesday. I was in the express checkout line pairing, the 15 items or less, one that people always seem to think is a suggestion rather than a rule. The line was moving slowly because the cashier was new. You could tell by her hesitant scanning and the way her manager kept checking in. 5 people ahead of me stood a man in his 40s, tapping his foot impatiently, cart overflowing with at least 30 items. Clepactic express lane abuser. Behind him was an elderly woman with a cane holding only a carton of milk and a prescription bag. She looked tired, the kind of exhaustion that comes from standing too long when your joints ache with every movement. "Excuse me," she said softly to the man. "I only have these 2 items. Would you mind if I went ahead of you? My arthritis is acting up something terrible today." What happened next made my blood boil. The man looked at her, rolled his eyes, and said loudly enough for everyone to hear, "Should have thought about that before getting in line, lady." We're all waiting. The collective intake of breath from everyone in line was audible. The elderly woman's face fell and she nodded silently, shifting her weight to lean more heavily on her cane. The teenage boy behind me immediately offered to let her cut in front of him, and several others in line motioned her forward, but she shook her head. I can wait my turn. When the impatient man finally reached the cashier, he unloaded his mountain of items onto the belt. The new cashier looked nervously at her 15 items or less sign, then began scanning. Everything proceeded normally until she tried to process his payment. "I'm sorry, sir," she said. "Your card has been declined." "Try it again," he demanded. She did. "Scan result, maybe another card?" she suggested. He pulled out another card, declined again. His face was turning an impressive shade of red as people behind him started shifting impatiently. That's when the store manager appeared, having been called over by the cashier. "Sir, both cards are showing as declined. Would you like to try another payment method?" The man started emptying his pockets, growing increasingly flustered. "I have cash," he muttered, pulling out a handful of crumpled bills. He counted them twice, paying $27.43. His groceries totaled $18.92. The manager started the uncomfortable process of removing items, asking which ones he wanted to keep within his budget. The line grew longer. The man's embarrassment was palpable as he had to decide between toilet paper or cereal, milk or bread. That's when the elderly woman stepped forward. "I'll pay for his groceries," she said quietly. The cashier stopped mid-scan. The rude man stared at her in disbelief. "You don't have to do that," the manager said. "I know," she replied, "but my late husband always said when someone's having a bad day, that's when they need kindness most." She turned to the man. "We all have difficult days. I hope tomorrow is better for you." The man's face crumpled. "I can't let you do that," he whispered, all his previous arrogance gone. "I insist," she said, handing her card to the cashier as he helped her load his groceries into his cart. I heard him ask quietly if he could drive her home to repay her kindness. She accepted with a smile. Sometimes karma isn't about watching bad people get punished. Sometimes it's about watching them get the exact lesson they need, delivered by the very person they wronged. I left COD believing in something I hadn't when I walked in Pernt, that sometimes the universe knows exactly what it's doing. If you want to know what happened when I ran into them again at the same mob 3 months later, share this video and follow for part 2.